Have you ever wished you could stay calm no matter what life throws at you? What if you could stop reacting on impulse and instead respond with wisdom and peace? And what if this powerful shift was not a fantasy, but a practical path taught by the Buddha himself? Let's begin. Once, the Buddha offered a timeless teaching. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. This simple yet profound advice opens the door to one of the most transformative practices in Buddhism, the art of not reacting. Imagine facing life's chaos, unexpected stress, emotional confrontations, disappointments, and still maintaining a sense of inner calm. Picture yourself responding from a place of clarity rather than reacting out of fear, anger, or confusion. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a deeply rooted practice in Buddhist and Zen traditions, one that teaches us to master our emotions and transform how we experience the world. Have you ever felt like your emotions were controlling you? That no matter how hard you tried, a flood of anger, sadness, or anxiety would take over and dictate your actions? The Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." This simple truth reveals the heart of Buddhist wisdom. Our thoughts shape our emotions, and our emotions shape our destiny. When we learn to master our thoughts, we begin to master our emotional world. This isn't just about improving a single moment. It's about reshaping who we are and who we're becoming. Emotions aren't merely reactions to what's happening around us. In Buddhism, they are viewed as reflections of the mind's condition and indicators of where we're headed if we don't pause and realign. Impulsive reactions may offer a fleeting sense of release, but more often than not, they sow seeds of regret, conflict, and suffering. In contrast, when we approach challenges with a calm and mindful mind, we foster harmony, compassion, and deeper understanding, both within ourselves and in our relationships. In this video, we're going to explore 13 powerful practices, each one drawn from authentic Buddhist teachings. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're practical tools that will help you master your emotions and face life's challenges with strength and serenity. You'll learn how to bring mindfulness into your daily routine, how to respond to difficulties with grace, and how to create a lasting inner peace that touches every corner of your life. Whether it's a heated moment at work or tension at home, imagine being able to remain calm, resolving problems with minimal stress and greater clarity. This isn't reserved for monks or spiritual masters. With the right guidance, you can access this level of peace and power in your everyday life. And science supports this too. Studies show that mastering emotional regulation not only reduces anxiety, depression, and stress, it also sharpens your decision-making and problem-solving skills. Mindfulness and emotional awareness boost mental clarity, helping you see situations for what they really are, not just how they feel in the moment. So as we move forward, step by step, you'll gain the tools to handle life's ups and downs, not with fear or frustration, but with presence, wisdom, and compassion. This gentle yet powerful shift in how you engage with life will begin to turn obstacles into opportunities and moments of struggle into moments of insight. Let's continue our journey from where we left off, equipping ourselves with the inner tools to remain calm and clear-minded in a chaotic world. Now, we begin with the very first and perhaps most essential step, the practice of mindfulness. Embracing these teachings is not just about gaining knowledge, It's about transforming the way you live. As you walk this path, you'll start to notice a shift. Your days become more peaceful, your thoughts more grounded, and your heart more fulfilled. So where do we begin? We begin with mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness is the cornerstone of emotional mastery. It strengthens two vital inner skills: self-awareness and self-regulation, the very keys to understanding your emotions and guiding your mental state. When we practice meditation, one of the most effective forms of mindfulness, we create a gentle space between ourselves and our thoughts. Instead of being swept away by old habits or emotional reactions, we learn to observe them. Imagine your thoughts passing by, like clouds drifting across the sky, there, but not gripping you. You're simply watching. No judgment, no attachment. This simple act of awareness changes everything. With consistent practice, you start to recognize when your mind is stuck in the past or racing into the future. And most importantly, you develop the ability to gently bring it back to now, to this moment, right here. This return to the present doesn't just sound nice. It actually helps reduce stress, ease anxiety, and improve your ability to fully engage with the life in front of you. You stop missing what's happening now because you're no longer lost in what was or what if. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need a mountain retreat or hours of silence to begin. Just a few quiet minutes a day, sitting with your breath and gently observing your thoughts, is enough to get started. Over time, you can explore more advanced forms of mindfulness meditation, ones where you simply witness your feelings rise and fall, like waves on the surface of the ocean. Let them come, let them go. But mindfulness doesn't only improve focus and emotional balance, it also deepens your connection to others. Through meditation, you begin to notice something universal, that behind every person's smile or frown lies the same longing, to be happy, to avoid pain. This awareness naturally blossoms into compassion. You start to care more, you understand more, and your relationships, whether with family, friends, or even strangers, become more kind, patient, and supportive. This is the unseen power of meditation. It not only calms your mind, it opens your heart. With regular practice, meditation fosters not just peace, but strength. A deep, stable kind of strength that allows you to face life's storms with clarity and grace. You also sharpen your focus, improve your memory, and make wiser decisions, simply because your mind is no longer clouded by chaos. By integrating mindfulness and meditation into your daily life, you gain more than calm. You gain resilience, insight, and emotional freedom. These tools help you move through life with both a clear mind and a compassionate heart. So to sum it up, practicing mindfulness, embracing impermanence, developing compassion, and meditating regularly. These are not just techniques for controlling your emotions. They are living teachings. They are bridges to a more connected, thoughtful, and meaningful life. In Buddhism, detachment is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean apathy, indifference, or withdrawing from life. Rather, it means learning how to love, enjoy, and experience life without clinging. To walk through life fully present, yet free from the chains of obsession with outcomes, possessions, or even relationships. This kind of non-attachment doesn't diminish your joy, it enhances it. Because true joy is not dependent on getting what you want. It comes from being at peace with what is. Previously, we explored how mindfulness helps us stay present and cultivate inner peace. Now, we move deeper into the heart of emotional resilience, with one of the most transformative teachings in Buddhism, the practice of detachment. Tip number 1, detachment. At its core, detachment is not about withdrawing from life. It's about fully engaging with the world, but without being ruled by fear, desire, or the need for control. When we learn to let go of attachment, we gain something far greater in return. A stable, enduring sense of peace, one that doesn't rise and fall with every twist of fate. This inner steadiness allows us to enjoy life as it is, even when it doesn't go as planned. So what does detachment really mean in practice? It means embracing the truth that everything in life is temporary. Every moment, every relationship, every possession, even our emotions, are in constant motion, always shifting. Nothing lasts forever. Understanding this deeply can ease the fear of loss and reduce the suffering that often comes with change. In your daily life, detachment begins with recognizing where you may be holding on too tightly, whether it's to a specific outcome, a person, a job, or even an image of who you think you should be. This practice invites you to observe those areas gently and ask, am I clinging here? Is this attachment bringing peace or stress? When we release the need to control every outcome, we discover emotional freedom. Take relationships, for example. Detachment doesn't mean loving less. On the contrary, it allows you to love more openly, without fear, without trying to possess or control. It means appreciating the people in your life fully, while also accepting that relationships evolve, shift, and sometimes even come to an end. This perspective fosters deeper, healthier connections built on trust and presence, not anxiety or fear of loss. In the workplace, detachment may look like giving your best effort to a project without becoming overly fixated on the result. Instead of obsessing over success or failure, you focus on doing your part well and letting go of what's beyond your control. This mindset not only reduces stress, but also increases your sense of fulfillment because your satisfaction comes from your intention and effort, not just the outcome. To start cultivating detachment, begin by noticing the areas of your life where you feel reactive or overly invested. Observe how those attachments influence your mood, your decisions, and your peace of mind. Then gently remind yourself, everything changes, and that's okay. There is beauty in impermanence and growth in letting go. As you continue this practice, you may find yourself becoming more emotionally balanced, more resilient, and more open to life's flow. You'll respond to changes with grace and calm, not panic or resistance. This inner stability doesn't just benefit you, it positively impacts everyone around you. You become a source of calm, a steady presence others can rely on. Buddhist philosophy teaches that suffering arises from attachment to people, possessions, even the roles we identify with. When we cling, we create fear and tension. But when we loosen our grip, we make space for freedom, joy, and clarity. Detachment does not mean apathy or coldness. It means not clinging. It means enjoying a beautiful sunset without needing to capture it forever. It means loving someone deeply without trying to freeze that love in time. It means living fully without letting life's ups and downs define your worth or rob your peace. By integrating detachment alongside mindfulness, meditation, and compassion, you create a life of balance, a life where peace and presence coexist with love and action. With detachment, we learn to live fully, without clinging, without fear. Now we turn to a practice that helps anchor that mindset in the present moment. Mindfulness meditation. Tip number 2. Mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is a foundational pillar of Buddhist practice. It is the art of observing your inner and outer world moment by moment without judgment. You become aware of your thoughts, your emotions, your bodily sensations, and the environment around you, not to change them, but simply to notice them as they are. At first glance, it might seem too simple to be powerful, but this gentle awareness holds profound strength. It's about being fully present here and now without chasing the future or clinging to the past. Historically, mindfulness has deep roots. It is one of the 7 factors of enlightenment as described in the ancient Pali Canon, the sacred texts of Theravada Buddhism. This shows just how central mindfulness is in the path to awakening. Through mindfulness, we loosen the grip of our habitual emotional reactions and begin to see things as they truly are, not filtered through stress, bias, or fear. But this isn't just ancient wisdom. Today, science affirms what the Buddha taught centuries ago. Modern research continues to highlight the transformative power of mindfulness. Studies have shown that regular mindfulness meditation reduces the density of gray matter in the amygdala, the part of the brain associated with stress and emotional reactivity. At the same time, it strengthens the prefrontal cortex, which helps us stay rational, focused, and in control of our emotions. This means less automatic reactivity, more clarity, and greater emotional balance. So, how do you begin? Here's a simple, step-by-step guide to help you get started. 1. Find a quiet space. Choose a spot where you won't be disturbed. It could be a peaceful corner of your home, a bench in the park, or even a calm corner of a quiet cafe. Set a time limit. If you're just starting, 5 to 10 minutes is perfect. As your comfort grows, you can gradually increase your practice time. 3. Get comfortable. Sit in a position that feels relaxed yet alert. You can sit on a chair, a cushion, or a meditation mat. Keep your back straight, but not stiff. Let your hands rest gently in your lap. 4. Focus your attention. Gently close your eyes and bring your attention to your breathing. Notice the air entering and leaving your nostrils, the gentle rise and fall of your chest or abdomen. Let your breath anchor you in the now. 5. Observe your thoughts and emotions. As you sit, thoughts will arise. Emotions may surface. Bodily sensations might come and go. This is normal. Your task is simple. Observe. Don't cling. Don't push them away. Just watch. And when your mind wanders, softly bring it back to your breath. 6. End the session gently. When your timer goes off, don't rush. Slowly bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Move your fingers and toes, open your eyes. Take a moment to notice how you feel. And remember, mindfulness doesn't end with meditation. You can bring it into your daily life in the most ordinary moments. Try mindful eating, for example. The next time you eat, truly pay attention. Notice the colors, the aroma, the texture. Eat slowly. Savor each bite. This simple shift turns a daily habit into a moment of deep connection and awareness. By practicing mindfulness, detachment, compassion, and regular meditation, you equip yourself with the tools for personal growth and emotional resilience. These practices aren't just rituals, they become your foundation for navigating life with clarity, presence, and heart. They help you show up in the world more grounded, more thoughtful, and more connected, not just to yourself, but to others. As we've seen, mindfulness isn't just a technique, It's a way of living more deeply, more presently, and more connected with both yourself and others. These practices, mindfulness, detachment, meditation, are not merely tools for emotional regulation. They are pathways to a richer, more meaningful life. They guide you toward greater awareness, empathy, and connection, not only transforming your own inner world, but also touching the lives of those around you in profound and lasting ways. This awareness can extend into the smallest of moments. Take mindful walking, for example. With each step, pay attention to the sensation of your feet pressing into the ground. Notice the subtle sounds surrounding you. Feel your breath move through your body as you walk. Suddenly, what was once automatic becomes intentional. Grounding. Or try mindful listening. When speaking with someone, focus fully on what they're saying, without interrupting, without forming your response in advance. Simply listen. And as you do, observe any judgments or emotions that arise within you. Acknowledge them, then gently return your focus to the speaker. This kind of listening builds true connection. Of course, cultivating mindfulness isn't always easy, especially at the beginning. You might get distracted. You might feel bored or restless. You might think, nothing's happening. But here's the truth. That's part of the process. Let's look at a few common challenges and how to work through them. Dealing with distractions. It's completely normal for your mind to wander. When you notice it drifting, gently bring your focus back to your breath. No need to scold yourself. Just return. Managing restlessness. If your body feels fidgety or unsettled, acknowledge the feeling. You can adjust your posture or take a few deeper breaths to help ground yourself. Impatience. Remember, mindfulness is a skill. Like learning an instrument or a language, it takes time and consistent practice. Be kind to yourself. Stay committed. The benefits will come, slowly but surely. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you gain mastery over your emotional landscape. You begin to respond to life's ups and downs with greater balance, awareness, and calm. You begin to understand how your mind operates, and that awareness becomes your power. As your journey deepens, you may notice something shifting, a sense of inner clarity, resilience, and peace that begins to influence how you experience everything around you. And now, we turn to another essential tool, one that links mind and body directly and can instantly calm emotional storms. Tip number 3. Deep breathing exercises, calming the mind and body. Breathing is more than just a biological function. In Buddhist practice, the breath is a sacred bridge, connecting the mind and body, guiding us into the present moment and creating space for peace. In fact, in many Buddhist traditions, breathing lies at the center of emotional regulation and spiritual development. The Anapanasati Sutta, a core Buddhist scripture, details mindfulness through breathing as a central path toward awakening and self-mastery. And modern science agrees. Deep breathing exercises have been shown to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that calms you down. This slows the heart rate, lowers blood pressure, and relaxes the body. It also increases oxygen flow to the brain and stimulates the vagus nerve, which plays a vital role in calming your nervous system. Here's a simple technique to try. The 4-7-8 breathing technique. 1. Find a comfortable position. Sit upright or lie down somewhere peaceful. 2. Empty your lungs. Start by gently exhaling all the air out through your mouth. 3. Inhale through your nose. Close your mouth and inhale quietly to a mental count of 4. 4. Hold your breath. Hold this breath in for a slow count of 7. 5. Exhale fully. Exhale through your mouth, making a soft whoosh sound for a count of 8. 6. Repeat. That's 1 full cycle. Repeat the cycle for 4 full rounds. This breathing pattern isn't just relaxing, it's rewiring your nervous system to respond with calm instead of panic. It trains your body to slow down, to soften, to let go. After learning how to calm your mind through deep breathing, let's now expand that practice into a fuller experience of the body with diaphragmatic breathing, a powerful way to anchor yourself in calm. Diaphragmatic breathing, reclaiming calm through the body. This technique goes deeper than ordinary breathing. It involves activating your diaphragm, the muscle located just below your lungs, which helps you breathe more efficiently and fully. Let's walk through it step by step. Step 1. Position your body. Lie on your back in a quiet space. Let your knees bend slightly and rest your head on a pillow for comfort. This relaxed position supports your spine and opens your chest. Step 2. Place your hands. Place one hand on your upper chest and the other just below your rib cage, right over your diaphragm. This will help you notice the movement of your breath more clearly. Step 3. Inhale slowly through your nose. As you breathe in, try to make your stomach rise, pushing gently against your lower hand. Keep the hand on your chest as still as possible. The goal is to engage your diaphragm, not your chest muscles. Step 4. Exhale through pursed lips. As you exhale, tighten your stomach muscles slightly and breathe out through pursed lips, like you're softly blowing out a candle. The hand on your belly should move inward, while your chest hand stays mostly still. Step 5. Duration and practice. Try practicing this technique for 5 to 10 minutes each day. Just a few minutes of diaphragmatic breathing can create a sense of grounding and spaciousness in both body and mind. Integrating deep breathing into daily life. To make deep breathing part of your lifestyle, not just an occasional exercise, consider these simple tips. Morning routine. Start your day with 5 minutes of deep breathing. It helps you begin the morning with clarity, calm, and intention. Stressful situations. Whenever you feel tension rising, at work, in traffic, or during a conflict, take a moment to return to your breath. Just a few focused breaths can shift your entire emotional state. Before sleep, use deep breathing as a wind-down ritual before bedtime. It relaxes the nervous system, making it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep. Common challenges and gentle solutions. Although breathing is natural, deep breathing is a skill, and like any skill, it requires consistency. Here are a few challenges you might face and how to handle them. Inconsistency. It's easy to forget. Try setting fixed times each day, perhaps after waking up, during lunch, and before bed, to create a reliable routine. Distractions. Find a quiet space, even for just a few minutes. A calm environment helps you stay focused and reap the full benefits. Physical discomfort. If something feels off, don't push through. Adjust your position or breathing pattern until it feels natural and gentle. Deep breathing is more than a relaxation tool. It's a gateway to emotional stability, improved focus, and deeper self-awareness. With regular practice, you'll notice real shifts in your emotional responses, energy levels, and overall well-being. It's one of the simplest yet most transformative practices available to us. Tip number 4. the pause and reflect technique, cultivating thoughtful responses. Once your breath is calm, your mind becomes more spacious, and in that space, we find room to pause before reacting. The pause and reflect technique is a subtle but powerful way to manage impulsive emotional reactions. It's especially helpful in those moments when you feel provoked, overwhelmed, or unsure of how to respond. Rather than reacting immediately, you pause, just for a few seconds. In that pause, you breathe, center yourself, and make space for a thoughtful response instead of a knee-jerk reaction. This practice is deeply grounded in Buddhist teachings. In the Noble Eightfold Path, the Buddha emphasized right speech and right action, which require mindfulness not just of the moment, but of how we choose to respond to it. When you practice pausing before reacting, you begin to reduce impulsivity. You give yourself time to cool down, preventing emotional outbursts or regretful words. Enhance self-awareness. You become more aware of what triggers your emotions and how they show up in your body and mind. Encourage rational thinking. Instead of letting emotions take the wheel, you allow your thoughtful brain to step in, so your decisions are wiser and more balanced. In the next section, we'll explore how to apply the pause and reflect technique in real-life situations with a practical step-by-step guide that helps you remain composed, intentional, and wise in the face of emotional challenges. We've just learned that the pause and reflect technique allows us to step back before reacting, offering space for mindfulness and clarity. Now, let's explore how to put this simple yet transformative method into practice. Step-by-step guide to using the pause and reflect technique. 1. Notice the impulse to react. The very first step is awareness. Pay close attention to the physical or emotional signals that arise when you're triggered, whether it's anger bubbling up in traffic, irritation during a conversation, or tension when someone disagrees with you. These moments often come with tightness in the chest, heat in the face, or a quickening pulse. The goal here is not to stop the emotion, but to catch it as it arises. 2. Implement a physical cue. Once you notice the impulse, introduce a simple physical action as a pause trigger. It could be placing your hand on your heart, slowly exhaling, gently pressing your fingertips together, or even taking one conscious step back. This cue signals your mind. Pause, breathe, reflect. 3. Choose your response with intention. After the pause, take a moment to reflect. What would be the most constructive way to respond? It could mean speaking calmly instead of raising your voice, choosing silence instead of reacting, or asking a clarifying question instead of making assumptions. In doing so, you regain control and act from clarity, not from reactivity. How to make pause and reflect part of everyday life. To turn this into a natural habit, start small and build consistency. During conversations, before you respond, especially in emotional or heated discussions, pause. Let your breath lead. Just a few seconds can shift the tone of the entire conversation. When making decisions, whether big or small, use the pause to weigh your thoughts. Are you reacting out of habit or choosing from awareness? In stressful moments, when pressure rises, take a conscious pause. Use it to settle your nervous system before acting, speaking, or deciding. Common challenges and how to overcome them. Like any new practice, it might feel awkward at first, but with time, the pause becomes second nature. Forgetting to pause. This is normal, especially when you're in a rush. Try placing visual cues, notes on your desk, or phone reminders with a simple message, pause, Breathe, reflect. Feeling awkward or unnatural? Yes, it might feel strange in the beginning, but like brushing your teeth or tying your shoes, what feels awkward today will soon feel automatic. Impatience. You may resist pausing because your mind urges quick action. Remind yourself, the time it takes to pause is far less than the time it takes to repair a mistake made in haste. The pause and reflect technique is more than just a tool. It's a shift in the way we live, relate, and respond. It builds emotional intelligence, promotes deeper communication, and opens a path to a more mindful, harmonious life. By integrating this simple practice into your daily routine, you empower yourself to navigate stress with clarity, build stronger relationships, and truly savor the present moment. Life stops feeling like a series of reactions and becomes a series of meaningful, intentional choices. A natural bridge, breath and emotion. As we continue, let's revisit the power of breath control, because the way we breathe directly influences how we feel. For example, the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale slowly for 8, regulates oxygen and carbon dioxide levels in your body, helping to calm anxiety and settle emotional storms. Breathing patterns mirror our emotional states. Rapid, shallow breathing is a hallmark of fear, panic, or stress. It activates the fight or flight response. In contrast, slow, deep breathing triggers the relaxation response, reducing cortisol, the stress hormone, slowing the heartbeat, and stabilizing mood. Imagine being in the middle of an argument. One deep breath can make the difference between escalation and understanding. Or picture yourself before a job interview. Just a few rounds of 4-7-8 breathing can ground your nerves and sharpen your focus. In the next section, we'll explore more breathing strategies, plus how to pair them with compassion practices to create deeper healing and resilience from within. Previously, we explored how breathing techniques like 4-7-8 can create calm in both body and mind. Now, let's deepen that journey by pairing controlled breathing with the practice of self-awareness, one of the most powerful tools for emotional mastery. Controlled breathing, a gateway to emotional stability. Practicing controlled breathing regularly, especially as part of your morning or evening routine, builds emotional resilience. Just a few minutes of intentional breathing each day can make a remarkable difference in how you handle stress, not just in the moment, but long term. This isn't merely a temporary fix for anxious thoughts. It's a gateway to greater emotional health, mental clarity, and a more balanced life overall. The more consistently you engage in conscious breathing, the more naturally your body and mind will respond to stress with calm. You'll not only become more equipped to manage intense emotions during challenges, you'll also begin to feel more stable, grounded, and clear in your everyday life. Self-awareness, the foundation of emotional mastery. At the heart of Buddhist wisdom, and echoed by modern psychology, is a vital principle: self-awareness. Self-awareness means developing a deeper understanding of your thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and the ways they influence your relationships, choices, and reactions. When you become more aware of what's happening inside you, you create space for deliberate response instead of automatic reaction. This awareness becomes your inner compass. It points out emotional triggers, patterns, and unhelpful habits, so that over time you can steer yourself toward more thoughtful actions and greater well-being. Think about it. How often do we go through life on autopilot, reacting to situations without fully understanding why we feel the way we do. But with self-awareness, we begin to notice. And when we notice, we can choose. Why self-awareness matters. Self-awareness is the first and most crucial step in emotional control. By recognizing what triggers certain emotional states, we can prepare ourselves, reduce their impact, or shift how we respond. For example, if you realize that crowded places make you anxious, you can choose to avoid them when possible, or develop calming strategies to manage your anxiety when exposure is necessary. That simple insight turns chaos into control. 4 ways to develop. Greater self-awareness. 1. Keep a journal. Spend a few minutes each day writing about your experiences, emotions, and reactions. Over time, patterns will emerge. You'll start to notice what affects your mood, where your stress builds, and how you tend to respond. This self-reflection becomes a mirror for your inner world. 2. Practice mindfulness meditation. Through regular mindfulness, you learn to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. This observation reveals the deeper emotional habits you may have missed and teaches you how to respond with intention rather than impulse. 3. Ask for feedback. Sometimes others see things we can't. Seek honest, kind feedback from trusted friends, family members, or colleagues. Their perspectives can offer valuable insights about how your behaviors or reactions are perceived and help you grow. 4. Set aside reflection time. Create a quiet moment at the end of each day to reflect. Ask yourself, what went well today? What felt difficult? How did I respond and why? This daily habit strengthens your inner clarity and helps you align your choices with your deeper values. Practical benefits of self-awareness. Greater self-awareness offers countless benefits that ripple into all areas of your life. Let's say you realize that stress makes you irritable or short-tempered. Instead of waiting for a blow-up, you can proactively schedule small breaks during your day, moments of rest, movement, or breath work to reduce stress before it affects your relationships. In the workplace, self-awareness improves leadership and teamwork. When you understand your strengths and limitations, you can make wiser decisions, communicate more effectively, and delegate with confidence, leading to better outcomes for everyone. Whether it's managing tension in a family conversation or staying composed in a high-stakes meeting, the ability to understand yourself puts you in the driver's seat of your emotional life. Once you develop self-awareness, you begin to recognize how your emotions and choices are shaped not just by your thoughts, but also by your attachments. Now let's take a closer look at how attachment affects emotional well-being and how to let go wisely and gently. Letting go of attachments. Finding freedom in impermanence. Self-awareness doesn't just help us manage stress, it also guides our personal development. When you understand yourself better, you can set clearer, more meaningful goals and ask for help when needed. This not only strengthens your growth, but enhances teamwork and productivity in both personal and professional spaces. But beyond goals and collaboration, there's a deeper transformation that self-awareness brings: the ability to let go. Letting go of attachments doesn't mean withdrawing from life or loving less. On the contrary, it allows you to love more freely, to engage with life fully, but without the fear of losing control or being emotionally consumed. How attachments cause emotional turbulence. Attachment, in the Buddhist sense, refers to the clinging that binds our happiness to external things. people, achievements, or material possessions. When we attach our sense of self to something outside of us, we give away our emotional stability. For example, if your identity is tied too tightly to your career, losing that job may feel like losing yourself. The pain becomes disproportionate, not just disappointment, but a sense of collapse. Or imagine being overly dependent on someone else's affection or approval. If that connection weakens or disappears, it can leave you spiraling in sadness or anxiety. These emotional storms are not caused by events themselves, but by our attachment to how we think things should be. 4 steps to let go of attachments. Recognize your attachments. The first step is honest reflection. What are you afraid to lose? It might be a physical possession, a relationship, a dream, or a role you play in life. Write them down. Acknowledge them. Awareness softens the grip. 2. Understand the nature of impermanence. Everything changes. Every job, every moment, every relationship, and every feeling is temporary. This truth, though hard to accept at times, can be incredibly liberating. By reminding yourself of life's impermanence, you create room for peace and flexibility. 3. Cultivate inner fulfillment. True happiness doesn't come from clinging, it comes from within. Engage in activities that feed your soul: meditation, journaling, reading, creating art, spending time in nature, or helping others. These moments build a stable inner self, a self that remains content even when life shifts. 4. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is your daily training in letting go. As you sit quietly and observe your thoughts and emotions, you begin to notice your attachments. You don't have to fix them or push them away, just see them clearly, without judgment. This awareness slowly loosens their hold over you. The result: a more present, liberated life. By integrating these practices, you not only improve your ability to handle stress, you begin to build stronger relationships by being fully present with others. Life becomes less about chasing the next outcome and more about appreciating each moment. Each day becomes something to savor rather than something to survive. You shift from being bound by expectations to being free in the now. The 4-7-8 breathing technique, a powerful anchor. Let's also revisit the 4-7-8 breathing method, a simple yet powerful tool that supports emotional letting go. Inhale gently for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly for 8 seconds. This pattern doesn't just calm your breath, it helps regulate oxygen and carbon dioxide flow, balances your nervous system, and soothes emotional surges. It acts as an emotional reset button, anchoring you back into stillness, especially during moments of anxiety or inner turbulence. Why does this work so well? Because our breathing patterns are directly linked to our emotions. When we're anxious or afraid, we breathe rapidly and shallowly, activating the fight or flight response. But when we slow our breath, we signal the body to relax, reduce stress hormones, and reclaim emotional balance. In the next section, we'll explore how combining breath awareness with compassion practices can strengthen emotional resilience even further, bringing more warmth, understanding, and peace into your everyday life. As we discovered, mastering your breath is more than just a calming tool. It activates the body's natural relaxation response, grounding your emotions and centering your mind. But once calm is established, how do we nourish emotional joy? That's where gratitude comes in. the power of gratitude, shifting your emotional landscape. Incorporating deep breathing into your everyday routine, whether it's a few quiet minutes in the morning or before bed, helps create emotional stability. It becomes a steady anchor, especially when tension builds or anxiety strikes. Think of it like watering a garden. Every breath you take with awareness nourishes your emotional soil. But as important as it is to calm the storm, it's equally vital to cultivate sunshine. And gratitude is the light that helps emotional well-being truly flourish. Gratitude is far more than simply saying thank you. It's a deeper, more conscious recognition of the blessings, both big and small, that already exist in your life. It's a practice that can radically transform your mental and emotional state, even on the most difficult days. Why gratitude matters for emotional health. When you choose to focus on what you have instead of what you lack, something powerful happens. You begin to shift from a mindset of scarcity and dissatisfaction to one of abundance and contentment. Gratitude redirects your attention from problems to possibilities, from complaints to appreciation. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or challenges, but it helps balance the emotional scale, reminding you that even amidst hardship, beauty and kindness still exist. Practicing gratitude regularly has been shown to reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety by decreasing the mind's fixation on negativity and fear. It rewires the brain to notice what's going well. Moreover, gratitude doesn't just improve how we feel within, it strengthens our relationships with others. When we sincerely thank someone or acknowledge their kindness, they feel seen and valued. In turn, this builds a stronger emotional connection, increases mutual respect, and reduces tension during conflict. Gratitude creates a ripple effect. One warm word can brighten a whole room, soften anger, or deepen trust. 3. Simple gratitude practices. Keep a gratitude journal. Every day, take a few minutes to jot down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't need to be dramatic. It could be the taste of your morning coffee, a message from a friend, or a moment of quiet. Over time, this trains your brain to notice the good more often, and that shift in attention can be deeply healing. 2. Express gratitude. Openly. Say it. Show it. Make appreciation part of your daily communication. Whether it's thanking a co-worker for their help, acknowledging your partner's patience, or telling a friend how much they mean to you, these small acts strengthen bonds and increase mutual joy. 3. Practice mindful reflection. At the end of each day, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what went well today? Even if it was a tough day, find one thing, however small, to appreciate. It might be the roof over your head, a warm meal, or the strength you showed in facing a challenge. This practice helps shift your perspective and cultivates emotional resilience. Living with gratitude. When gratitude becomes a habit, your inner world begins to change. You become more resilient, more compassionate, and more present. Life doesn't become perfect, but it becomes rich. And that richness comes not from having more, but from noticing more of what's already here. In the previous section, we saw how gratitude helps us find joy in what we already have. Now, let's take that mindset further by learning how to loosen the grip of attachment so we can live with more peace, freedom, and presence. Letting go of attachments, embracing change with grace. Integrating gratitude into your daily life doesn't just make you feel better. It gradually shifts how you experience the world. You begin to live more fully in the present, appreciate what you have without taking it for granted, and meet life's changes with a sense of calm resilience. This inner shift creates space for something even deeper, the practice of letting go. In Buddhist philosophy, attachment is seen as one of the primary roots of suffering. But it's important to understand, this doesn't only refer to clinging to material things. It also includes attachment to people, roles, ideas, or expected outcomes. The tighter we hold on, the more turbulence we create when those things inevitably change. Letting go doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we begin to relate to life with flexibility and wisdom rather than fear and control. How attachments create emotional turbulence. When we tie our happiness to something external, whether it's a job, a relationship, or even a personal goal, we become vulnerable. Why? Because everything in life is subject to change. For instance, if your identity is tightly bound to your professional role, then losing that job can feel like losing yourself. The emotional distress can be deep and overwhelming. Similarly, if you depend heavily on someone's affection or approval, their absence or disapproval can shake your entire sense of worth. In these cases, pain doesn't arise just from the loss. It arises from the attachment to permanence in a world that is always changing. 5 steps to let go of attachments. Recognize your attachments. Take time to reflect. What are you clinging to? It could be your home, your phone, a dream, or a particular relationship. Ask yourself, what do I feel I can't live without, and why? Acknowledging your attachments is the first and most important step in loosening their hold. 2. Understand the nature of impermanence. Everything changes. People evolve, circumstances shift, even your emotions rise and fall. This truth isn't meant to be sad, it's liberating. By accepting impermanence, we become less fearful of loss and more open to the beauty of the present moment. 3. Cultivate inner fulfillment. The more whole you feel within, the less dependent you become on external validation or comfort. Engage in activities that nourish your spirit, like meditation, reading, creative expression, or helping others. These practices build a resilient inner self, one that remains steady even when the world around you moves. 4. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness allows you to be present with what is, without grasping for more or fearing loss. As you observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment, you start to see how attachment shapes your emotions and choices. This clarity helps you let go more gently, more naturally. 5. Gradually reduce dependency. Start small. If you feel overly attached to your phone, try turning it off for an hour a day. If you're used to checking social media first thing in the morning, delay it until after breakfast. Small conscious steps help retrain your mind and build emotional independence over time. Living with intention and emotional freedom. Letting go is not about deprivation. It's about liberation. It's about choosing to live with more presence and less fear. By gently releasing your attachments, you gain emotional space. Space to breathe, to respond thoughtfully, and to embrace life as it unfolds. Each of these practices, gratitude, mindfulness, breath awareness, and letting go, are pieces of the same puzzle, a life lived with clarity, calm, and compassion. In the next section, we'll explore the transformative power of compassion, how developing kindness toward both yourself and others can heal emotional wounds and create deeper, more authentic connections. Previously, We explored how letting go of attachments can lead to a more peaceful and emotionally free life. Now, let's take a look at how this practice can be applied in real life, and how reducing our desires and expectations can bring even greater emotional clarity. Real-life applications of letting go. If you find yourself constantly seeking validation from others, try this. Make a few small decisions each day without asking for approval. This simple shift builds confidence and helps loosen emotional dependency. Letting go of attachments has powerful, practical benefits that ripple into every part of life. In personal relationships, it can help you develop healthier, more balanced interactions. Instead of placing the burden of your happiness on someone else, you begin to find joy within yourself. This inner stability allows you to become a better, more supportive partner or friend, someone who shares love freely without clinging or controlling. In the workplace, releasing the fear of failure can open doors to creativity, bold decision-making, and growth. When you're not paralyzed by the anxiety of losing your job, you can focus on doing meaningful work, taking risks, and contributing authentically without being pulled into unnecessary stress or politics. Ultimately, learning to let go leads to a more peaceful, contented life. You begin to live more fully in the moment, savoring what you have rather than fearing what might change. This mindset doesn't just bring you personal peace. It enhances your relationships with others and helps you move through life with grace, clarity, and joy. The role of mindfulness and gratitude in letting go. Letting go isn't a one-time act. It's a gradual practice supported by mindfulness and gratitude. Gratitude helps you recognize what's already good and abundant in your life. Mindfulness helps you observe your cravings, fears, and expectations without getting trapped in them. When you combine these two, you develop the strength to stop chasing what's next and start appreciating what's now. As this mindset deepens, you'll notice a significant drop in emotional turbulence. Why? Because desires and expectations often fuel frustration, anxiety, and disappointment. Let's explore a few tips that can help you reduce their power. 4. Tips to reduce desires and expectations. 1. Cultivate contentment. Train your mind to be satisfied with what you already have. Gratitude journaling, mindful reflection, and small moments of daily appreciation help redirect your attention from lack to abundance. This shift reduces craving and creates a sense of peace that doesn't depend on more. 2. Set realistic goals. Aspirations are important, but they should also be achievable and grounded in reality. Unrealistic expectations often lead to disappointment, resentment, or burnout. In contrast, realistic goals bring satisfaction, growth, and a sense of accomplishment without exhausting your emotional reserves. 3. Reflect on the source of your desires. Sometimes what we chase isn't truly our own. Are your goals shaped by your values or by external pressure, social media, peers, family expectations? By reflecting honestly, you can separate genuine desire from conditioned craving and let go of what no longer serves your true self. 5. Limit exposure to temptations. Modern life constantly invites us to want more. Ads, influencers, trends, they whisper that we're never enough. But you can protect your peace by limiting these inputs. Reduce social media use, skip unnecessary ads, and surround yourself with people who value simplicity, not consumerism. Fewer external triggers equals fewer unnecessary desires. from craving to clarity. When you begin to release the hold of expectations and reduce your cravings, something beautiful happens. Contentment grows. You start to live from a place of sufficiency, of enough. And that simple, profound shift makes each moment feel richer, more spacious, and more alive. In the previous section, we explored how reducing desires and expectations brings greater peace and clarity. Now, let's look at a lifestyle choice that supports that transformation: embracing simplicity. Applying these teachings in everyday life. These practices aren't just abstract ideas, they're tools meant to be lived. Take this example. If you often feel dissatisfied with your living situation, try shifting your focus. Practice gratitude for the home you already have and set realistic goals for future improvements. This shift in perspective can bring surprising peace. Even if nothing changes physically, your emotional space expands. Or maybe you feel let down by friends or family. By adjusting your expectations to be more in line with reality, not idealized versions of how people should act, you may notice your relationships feel lighter, more accepting, and less emotionally draining. Tip number 9. Embrace simplicity. Embracing simplicity goes far beyond decluttering your closet or cleaning out your garage. It's about simplifying your entire way of living, mentally, emotionally, physically, and even spiritually. Deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy and many other wisdom traditions, simplicity is seen as a pathway to peace, clarity, and balance. In a world overflowing with noise and choices, simplifying your life helps you hear what truly matters. The benefits of a simple life. Living simply offers profound, far-reaching benefits. It reduces stress by decreasing the number of daily decisions you have to make. It limits distractions and helps you process less so you can focus more. You begin to feel more grounded, more present, and more capable of engaging with what truly matters. Simplicity can also boost your financial well-being. When you shift your mindset from "what do I want" to "what do I truly need," you naturally spend less, save more, and free yourself from the pressure of constant consumption. 5 ways to simplify your life. 1. Declutter your space. Start with your physical surroundings. You don't need to become a minimalist overnight, but let go of what no longer serves a purpose or brings joy. A cleaner, lighter environment often brings a calmer mind. 2. Prioritize your commitments. Take a hard look at your calendar and to-do list. Are there tasks or obligations that drain your energy but add little value? Focus your time and energy on what and who genuinely matters. 3. Simplify your finances. Money stress can consume mental space. Set up automated payments, reduce unnecessary expenses, and streamline your accounts. Clarity in your finances creates clarity in your life. 5. Limit digital consumption. In today's hyper-connected world, endless scrolling can easily steal your peace. Set boundaries around screen time. Choose high-quality content. Designate specific times to check emails or social media. Then unplug. Less noise, more presence. Practice saying no. Every yes you give is a piece of your time and energy. Learn to say no to commitments, tasks, or requests that don't align with your values or capacity. This doesn't mean closing yourself off. It means protecting your focus, your peace, and your time. Simplicity in practice. Embracing simplicity doesn't mean giving up joy. It means making space for more of it. When you declutter your home, for example, you spend less time maintaining and more time doing what matters. Reading, playing, connecting, or simply being. When your calendar has room to breathe, so does your heart. You're no longer rushing through life, you're living it. Previously, we explored the beauty of simplicity, how decluttering your outer and inner world can lead to greater peace and presence. Now, we continue that journey by understanding how simplicity connects to one of Buddhism's most profound teachings, the nature of suffering. Simplicity and the nature of suffering. Simplifying your life is not only about clearing out physical clutter, it's about freeing your mind and heart from unnecessary complexity, emotional overload, and internal resistance. It's a conscious shift from doing more to being more, from chasing things to cherishing moments. Here's how embracing simplicity can support a more balanced and meaningful life. 1. Declutter your space. Let go of items in your home that no longer serve a purpose or bring joy. You don't need to live like a minimalist, but by surrounding yourself only with what you love and use, you reduce distractions and create a calming environment. A decluttered space often translates into a decluttered mind. This simplicity extends to how you use your time too. Imagine having fewer distractions so you can fully engage in your child's story at dinner or be truly present with a friend. That presence is where true connection lives. 2. Prioritize your commitments. Look at your calendar. What are you saying yes to that doesn't serve you? Let go of obligations that drain your energy or pull you away from what truly matters. By focusing your time on people and activities that nourish your soul, you create space for rest, growth, and fulfillment. 3. Simplify your finances. Financial stress complicates everything. Set up automated payments, reduce unnecessary expenses, or consolidate accounts for ease. Clarity in your finances creates emotional lightness and removes a major source of daily anxiety. 4. Limit digital consumption. Our attention is one of our most precious resources, and it's constantly under attack. Set boundaries, check emails at certain times, reduce social media scrolling, and be mindful of what digital content you consume. A quieter digital world creates a quieter inner world. Practice saying no. It may feel uncomfortable, but no is one of the most loving words you can say to yourself. When you say no to distractions and obligations that don't align with your values, you say yes to peace, clarity, and intentional living. Understanding the nature of suffering now. Let's go deeper. One of the foundational insights in Buddhism is understanding dukkha, the concept of suffering or dissatisfaction. And this understanding offers a transformative key to emotional freedom. Buddhism teaches that suffering doesn't primarily come from life's external conditions. It comes from how we relate to them. At the core of suffering are three forces: desire, aversion, and ignorance. Desire is the craving for what we don't have. Aversion is the rejection or resistance of what we dislike. Ignorance is the misunderstanding of reality, especially the truth of impermanence, that all things change. When we cling to things as if they are permanent, jobs, relationships, status, even emotions, we set ourselves up for suffering. Because when change inevitably comes, we resist it, and that resistance creates pain. How understanding suffering helps you. Emotionally realizing that suffering arises within us through our attachments and expectations empowers us to take emotional control. You begin to see your emotions, not as absolute truths, but as responses shaped by perception. When you recognize that your distress may stem from unrealistic desires or from resisting what is, you create the space to soften, let go, and respond with clarity. This awareness opens the door to fewer emotional overreactions, less inner conflict, more acceptance of change, greater peace in everyday moments. Real-life application. Let wisdom meet life. In practical terms, this understanding changes how you face daily challenges. When you feel frustrated because something didn't go your way, ask, what expectation was I clinging to? When someone disappoints you, reflect, am I expecting them to be different from who they are? When you feel sadness at change, remind yourself, this too is part of life's natural rhythm. By letting go of resistance and embracing impermanence, you learn to move with life, not against it. In the next section, we'll explore one of the most powerful emotional practices of all, compassion, and how embracing kindness towards yourself and others can completely reshape the way you experience emotions. Previously, we learned that suffering often stems not from the situation itself, but from our inner resistance to it. With that understanding, we now explore how compassion, especially loving kindness, can soften our reactions, connect us with others, and transform the way we experience emotional challenges. Seeing emotions through the lens of wisdom. Let's consider a common situation. Your friend cancels plans at the last minute and frustration immediately bubbles up. But what if you pause and recognize that your disappointment comes not just from their cancellation, but from your attachment to how you expected things to unfold? This awareness doesn't erase your feelings, but it loosens their grip. You begin to let go more easily, and peace returns more quickly. Or take moments of deep loss or unexpected change. Understanding that everything in life is impermanent, that all things rise and fall, can offer a sense of solace. Instead of clinging to what was, you begin to make space for what is, meeting reality with more grace and less resistance. Even in professional settings, this mindset is invaluable. Much of our workplace stress doesn't come from the workload itself, but from how we perceive pressure, setbacks, or challenges. When you shift your perspective, obstacles can become opportunities. You start responding with clarity rather than reacting with stress, aligning your choices with your deeper values, not fleeting emotions. Practicing loving kindness, a heart-opening technique. Now let's dive into one of the most powerful practices in Buddhist emotional training. Loving kindness meditation, also known as metta. This practice can completely transform your relationships at home, at work, and even within your own heart. Loving kindness meditation involves silently offering well wishes, first to yourself, then gradually expanding them to others, friends, strangers, and even people you struggle with. How to practice loving kindness meditation. It's beautifully simple, and anyone can do it. 1. Find a quiet space and sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself. 2. Begin with yourself. Silently repeat phrases like, "May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease." Don't just say the words, feel them. Let them fill you with warmth. 3. Next, bring to mind someone you love, a close friend or family member. Send them the same well wishes, repeating the phrases slowly and with intention. 4. Gradually expand outward. Think of someone you know casually, then someone neutral, and eventually someone you find difficult. Finally, send these wishes to all beings everywhere, a silent prayer of compassion stretching across the world. The benefits of loving kindness meditation. This practice may sound simple, but its effects are profound. If you often feel annoyed by a colleague or strained in a relationship, regularly practicing loving kindness toward that person can help you respond with empathy instead of irritation. It doesn't mean approving of all behavior, but it opens a softer, wiser heart space. In work environments, this shift fosters better communication, lowers personal stress, and creates a more supportive, collaborative atmosphere. On a personal level, loving kindness meditation is a powerful antidote to loneliness. By actively sending good wishes to others and feeling your connection to the broader human family, you begin to dissolve the illusion of isolation. Especially during times of social distance or inner struggle, this practice reminds you that you are part of a shared, living web of connection. Embracing change with openness. And now we come full circle, because to live with emotional freedom, we must learn not only to observe and accept change, but to embrace it. Change is not something to fear. It's an essential part of life's flow. By adapting with grace, we not only reduce suffering, we unlock new possibilities for growth, discovery, and transformation. In the previous section, we explored how compassion and loving kindness can ground us during times of emotional turbulence. Now, let's dive into the practical side of emotional wisdom by learning how to embrace change with flexibility, awareness, and care. Embracing change with grace and strength. Change is inevitable. Whether it comes through a career shift, the end of a relationship, a move to a new place, or internal growth, you cannot stop it, but you can choose how to face it. When you develop the right mindset and prepare with intention, change becomes not a threat, but a gateway to transformation. Here are 6 steps to help you navigate change more gracefully. 1. Cultivate a flexible mindset. Start by adopting a flexible attitude. Remind yourself, change is not the exception, it's the rule. Life is in constant motion, and adaptability is your greatest asset. When you approach new situations with openness, you allow space for creativity, growth, and renewed perspective. A flexible mindset helps you consider multiple outcomes and adjust your plans without becoming rigid or overwhelmed. 2. Stay informed. Uncertainty often creates fear, but when you take time to understand what's happening and why, you reclaim a sense of control. Whether it's a company restructure, a major life move, or shifts in your personal relationships, being informed helps you prepare both mentally and emotionally. Knowledge doesn't eliminate change, but it reduces its shock. 3. Build a support system. Facing change alone can feel overwhelming. That's why it's essential to lean on your support network, friends, family members, or even colleagues who understand your journey. These connections offer emotional reassurance and practical advice when the road feels uncertain. In times of transition, community becomes a cushion that helps you land softer. 4. Focus on what you can control. When everything feels chaotic, shift your focus to what you can influence. Set small, achievable goals. Learn a new skill. Adjust your routine to fit the new reality. By taking intentional steps, no matter how small, you shift from feeling powerless to feeling proactive. This is where real confidence begins to grow. 5. Practice self-care. Change can drain both your mental and physical energy. So don't forget the basics. Eat nourishing foods, stay physically active, get enough rest, and make time for stillness. Mindfulness practices like meditation, Deep breathing or gentle walks can ground your nervous system and restore emotional balance. Self-care isn't selfish, it's survival with love. 6. Reflect and reassess. As you move through change, pause regularly to reflect. What's working? What's not? This ongoing self-assessment allows you to fine-tune your response to shifting circumstances. It also helps you learn from the process, turning each challenge into preparation for the next chapter of your life. From resistance to resilience. By applying these strategies, you don't just survive change, you grow through it. You develop a deeper understanding of your strengths, refine your values, and gain tools that serve you for a lifetime. In the next section, we'll look at how to apply these emotional mastery techniques specifically in the work environment, helping you manage stress, navigate office dynamics, and align your career with your inner values. Previously, we explored how embracing change with a flexible mindset and self-awareness can transform difficult transitions into personal growth. Now, let's bring that wisdom into our everyday environments, especially the workplace and personal life, and discover how avoiding judgments can lead to deeper understanding and harmony. Applying emotional mastery in everyday life. Whether you're navigating big changes at work or adjusting to new beginnings in your personal life, how you respond makes all the difference. In the workplace, for example, imagine your company is restructuring. Instead of reacting with fear or resistance, try to understand the reasons behind the changes. Ask questions. Learn what direction the organization is moving toward and look for ways to align your skills with this new path. Stay open. Build new relationships. Keep communication honest and respectful. These simple shifts can turn discomfort into opportunity. In your personal life, if you're relocating to a new city, the transition might feel overwhelming at first. But embracing the change, exploring new communities, maintaining connections from your previous home, and creating fresh routines can turn what once felt intimidating into a genuinely exciting chapter of life. Tip: avoiding judgments. Another key to emotional mastery is learning to avoid snap judgments. When we judge ourselves or others too quickly, we close the door to curiosity, compassion, and connection. Here are 6 mindful strategies to help you stay open and present. 1. Cultivate mindfulness. Be aware of your thoughts and feelings, especially when judgment begins to rise. Mindfulness helps you recognize that a thought is just a thought, not a truth. Observe it, acknowledge it, and let it pass like a cloud in the sky without attaching to it or reacting immediately. Practice empathy. Pause and ask, what might this person be going through? Trying to understand someone's situation, motivations, or emotional state helps soften harsh judgments. This shift in perspective creates more patience and compassion, not just for others, but for yourself too. 3. Challenge your assumptions. Many judgments come from unexamined beliefs. When a negative thought arises, ask yourself, do I know the full story? Could there be another explanation? Am I projecting based on my mood or past experiences? This practice brings greater clarity and fairness into your interactions. 4. Focus on the positive. Instead of zeroing in on flaws or mistakes, look for what's good. This doesn't mean ignoring real problems, but it balances your perspective. Every person, including yourself, has positive qualities worth noticing. 5. Use reflective listening. When speaking with others, listen without planning your reply. Give your full attention. Let their words land before reacting. Reflective listening deepens understanding and reduces miscommunication. 6. Pause before reacting. When a judgmental thought arises, take a breath before speaking or acting. This pause creates space to respond with thoughtfulness instead of reflex, with kindness instead of criticism. Practical applications. At work, let's say a colleague misses a deadline. Rather than immediately labeling them as irresponsible, consider this. Could they be overwhelmed, facing personal difficulties, needing more clarity or support? By seeking understanding instead of jumping to conclusions, you may discover a chance to help rather than criticize, transforming workplace stress into collaboration. In personal life, avoiding judgment helps you live with more peace and connection. It enriches your relationships and fosters authentic conversations. You begin to see people as they are, not through the lens of expectation, but through the lens of shared humanity. This way of seeing the world doesn't just change others, it changes you. Embracing non-violence, the power of ahimsa. And now we move toward a deeper spiritual principle that underpins much of Buddhist philosophy and emotional maturity: non-violence. Known as ahimsa, this teaching reminds us that harm, whether through actions, words, or even thoughts, always leads to suffering. Therefore, to live with wisdom and compassion, we must do our best to avoid causing harm in all its forms. In the next section, we'll explore how practicing non-violence, externally and internally, can lead to a more peaceful, purposeful life rooted in kindness and respect. Building on the idea of avoiding judgment, we now turn to an even deeper principle that underpins emotional maturity and spiritual growth: non-violence, or ahimsa. This isn't just about physical actions. It's about the thoughts we think, the words we choose, and the way we interact with others and ourselves. Practicing non-violence, the quiet power of ahimsa. At its core, non-violence is more than just abstaining from physical harm. It includes emotional and psychological harm, the kind we cause through harsh words, manipulative behavior, dismissive tones, or even lingering negative thoughts. Every harmful action begins in the mind. That's why ahimsa calls us to begin there, with deep self-awareness. 1. Promote emotional regulation. To truly practice non-violence, we must learn to regulate our emotions, especially in moments of stress, anger, or provocation. This requires ongoing self-monitoring. Watch how impulses rise and fall, choosing when to speak and how to act with intention instead of instinct. It's not about suppressing emotion, but guiding it. When we commit to causing no harm, we become more grounded, more thoughtful, and more in control of our inner world. 2. Align actions with ethical values. Living non-violently means making choices that reflect integrity and kindness. When your actions are rooted in values like compassion, patience, and respect, you feel more internally aligned. This reduces internal conflict, guilt, or shame, and instead nurtures a sense of inner peace and self-respect. You begin to live from a place of steadiness, not reaction. 3. Practice non-violence in daily interactions. Non-violence isn't abstract. It lives in the way we speak, listen, and respond each day. In conversations, choose words that heal, not hurt, even when you're upset. Slow down. Listen deeply. Respond with empathy instead of retaliation. At work, foster collaboration over competition. Seek resolution through calm dialogue, not blame or force. This creates a supportive environment where people feel safe and valued. In personal relationships, address conflict with curiosity, not control. Avoid coercion, defensiveness, or accusations. Approach disagreements with the goal of understanding, not winning, and you'll notice your relationships deepen and soften over time. Cultivating a positive mindset. Practicing non-violence also prepares the ground for another essential inner practice, positive thinking. A positive mindset helps you focus on potential instead of problems. It doesn't mean denying reality or avoiding challenges. It means choosing to look for the good, the opportunity, the growth in each situation. When your thoughts are infused with positivity, your emotional world begins to shift. You feel more capable, more resilient, and more peaceful, even when life is uncertain. This mindset serves as a framework, guiding how you interpret the world, interact with others, and respond to stress. Returning to resilience, a quick recap on embracing change. As we've seen throughout this journey, emotional mastery includes learning how to navigate change gracefully. Let's quickly revisit the key steps that support this process. 1. Cultivate a flexible mindset. Accept that change is natural and be willing to adapt your strategies as situations evolve. 2. Stay informed. Understand what's changing and why. Knowledge reduces fear. 3. Build a support system. Let trusted people walk with you during transition. 4. Focus on what you can control. Small, intentional actions restore a sense of agency. 5. Practice self-care. Rest, nourish, and calm your body to support your emotions. 6. Reflect and reassess. Keep checking in. What's working? What's not? What can I learn from this? What comes next? These principles, nonviolence, mindfulness, compassion, flexibility, self-care, aren't isolated techniques. They are threads in a tapestry, woven together to form a resilient, peaceful, and emotionally intelligent life. As we've seen, embracing change requires more than endurance. It requires reflection. When we take time to pause and assess what's working and what isn't, we open the door to intentional growth, deeper awareness, and a more empowered response to whatever life brings. The power of reflection. In times of change, whether you're facing change at work or in your personal life, reflection is your compass. It helps you navigate complexity by making space for insight. Instead of rushing forward or reacting impulsively, ask yourself, what's helping me right now? What's draining me? What lessons can I carry forward? This kind of thoughtful assessment not only supports more effective adaptation, it also builds emotional resilience. You begin to respond with wisdom rather than react with worry. Applying emotional mastery in the workplace. Let's bring this into a practical setting. If your company is undergoing a restructuring, resist the urge to panic or disengage. Instead, try to understand the reasons behind the shift. What's changing? Why? And how might you grow in the new direction? Use this moment as an opportunity to learn new skills that align with evolving roles. Build strong relationships with new colleagues. Maintain open, honest communication that keeps misunderstandings at bay. By approaching professional change with clarity and openness, you ease your own transition and create a ripple of stability around you. In personal life, turning intimidation into opportunity, moving to a new city, starting a new chapter. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, but change, when met with curiosity, becomes an adventure. Explore new communities. Maintain the connections that matter most. Create fresh routines that support your well-being. This transformation, though initially intimidating, can evolve into one of the most enriching experiences of your life. Revisiting the practice of avoiding judgments. Earlier, we explored the impact of judgments on our emotional health. Let's revisit those tools because they continue to serve us through every kind of change. 1. Cultivate mindfulness. Be aware of when a judgment is forming in your mind. Instead of reacting to it, observe it. Remind yourself, this is a thought, not a truth. Let it pass without acting on it. 2. Practice empathy. Try stepping into the shoes of the other person. What might they be feeling? What could be influencing their behavior? This shift in perspective fosters patience and understanding for others and for yourself. 3. Challenge your assumptions. When a judgment arises, pause and ask, do I have all the facts? Could there be another explanation? Is my reaction based on current facts or past pain? Self-inquiry brings clarity. 4. Focus on positive aspects. Balance your view. Every person and every situation holds both flaws and beauty. Looking for the good doesn't mean ignoring problems, but it does mean choosing not to let negativity dominate your perception. 5. Use reflective listening. Instead of preparing your reply while someone speaks, try to truly listen. This helps you understand their point of view and reduces the risk of miscommunication. 6. Pause before reacting. When you feel the urge to react based on judgment, stop. Take a breath. That brief pause allows space for a kinder, more thoughtful response. Practical wisdom in daily life. At work, if a colleague misses a deadline, instead of labeling them lazy or incompetent, pause. Could they be overwhelmed, facing a challenge they haven't shared? Responding with curiosity instead of criticism builds trust and strengthens your team. At home, in your personal life, avoiding judgment creates emotional spaciousness. You foster more genuine interactions, less conflict, and a deeper understanding of yourself and those around you. It's not about being passive, it's about being present, patient, and aware. The final threads: avoiding judgment, embracing change, practicing non-violence. Each of these skills, rooted in mindfulness and compassion, builds the foundation for a peaceful, emotionally rich life. In the final closing segment, we'll reflect on the journey you've just taken and how you can carry these principles forward to create lasting transformation from the inside out. As we've seen, avoiding judgment, embracing non-violence, and cultivating a positive mindset are not isolated efforts. They are interconnected practices that create a more peaceful, accepting, and resilient life. Let's now bring everything together with one final powerful invitation: to trust the journey. Embracing non-violence, living with kindness in thought, word, and action. The principle of ahimsa, or non-violence, lies at the heart of many spiritual teachings, including Buddhism. It reminds us that harm leads to suffering, for others and for ourselves. And so, we are called to live in a way that minimizes harm in every form: physical, emotional, and psychological. This means being mindful not only of our actions, but also of our words and even our thoughts. A sarcastic comment, a manipulative tone, a judgmental assumption. These can wound just as deeply as physical actions. Ahimsa invites us to become aware and to choose gentleness instead, the inner strength of emotional regulation. Practicing non-violence requires self-awareness and emotional discipline. You learn to pause before reacting, to observe your impulses, especially in moments of stress or frustration, and respond with compassion. This inward discipline leads to emotional balance, helping to prevent mood swings, reduce anxiety, and strengthen self-respect. Living in alignment with ethical values. Choosing non-harmful behavior means aligning your life with values that foster peace, honesty, and kindness. This alignment relieves inner tension, reduces guilt, and brings a deep sense of self-trust. When your actions reflect your values, you feel steady, even when life around you is unpredictable. Non-violence in daily life. In conversation, choose words that soothe, not hurt, even when you're angry or frustrated. In conflict, listen with empathy. Let understanding lead before judgment has a chance to speak. At work, promote collaboration over competition. Resolve issues through calm dialogue and mutual respect. In relationships, approach disagreements with care, honesty, and the aim to understand, not dominate. These daily practices may seem small, but they ripple outward, creating harmony wherever they go. The power of a positive mindset. A positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring life's difficulties. It means choosing how you see and respond to them. It's the difference between seeing a setback as failure or as a step toward wisdom. Strategies to strengthen this mindset. Practice gratitude. Appreciate what's already here. Gratitude shifts focus from lack to abundance. Reframe negativity. When challenges arise, ask, "What might this be teaching me?" Surround yourself with uplifting influences. Be intentional with your environment, both people and content. Set realistic goals. Every goal achieved builds confidence, purpose, and resilience. Embrace failure. Learn to see setbacks not as endings, but as beginnings of growth. Trusting the process. Your journey is enough. Above all, emotional mastery means learning to trust the process of life. When uncertainty appears, and it always does, meet it with patience and faith. Know that each experience, whether joyful or painful, is shaping your strength and deepening your understanding. Practical ways to trust the journey. Reflect on your past. Remember the challenges you've overcome and the unexpected blessings they led to. Set clear intentions. Let your path be guided not just by external goals, but by your inner values. Stay mindful. Be present. Don't dwell in the past or fear the future. Life is unfolding here and now. Seek wisdom. Learn from others. Let their journeys reassure and inspire your own. Stay flexible. Adapt. Flow. Let go of rigid expectations and allow life to move through you. Final thoughts. Live with purpose. Respond with peace. By embracing these practices, non-violence, positive thinking, mindfulness, emotional regulation, you cultivate inner peace, outer harmony, and deeper meaning. You become more than reactive. You become reflective, resilient, and radiant with understanding. And if this message speaks to your heart, subscribe to Buddhism Seeds to continue your journey toward peace, clarity, and awakening. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and let us know in the comments which practice resonated with you most today. Your voice may be the light that guides someone else. Thank you for being here. Keep walking with compassion, and may your path be filled with wisdom and ease. Until next time.